Hi, how are you? My name is Ronald. They call me MrTacpans. I've been putting out bulletins over and over for the last year. I have revelations. I see what's going on. I know what's going on. I can't pinpoint anything, but if I see a color, if I hear a name, if you tell me foxtrot, if you tell me wolf, it's all a sign of 666. Wolf is a 56 letter count. It's also a 65 letter count. What it means, okay, is it means Christ, which is 111, which means 258 on your telephone, and it connects to the four corners, which is 1, 3, 7, and 9. What goes in the center is the letter Q, okay, because God in spirit does not come here to do any actions. It's all done by the machine. It's a machine set up in this world, which are the elements that tells everybody and what the governments have to do in order to teach us. Now the problem with the machine and man is greedy, and all he wants is money, and all he wants is power. Now this machine is divided up to give the strong the power that they need, because they also have to learn the elements of love and communication. God lets nobody on earth. This is not earth. We are sitting, if you ever look at Jupiter, look at the rings, but look against the planet and the rings. There's a burn mark all the way around. It's said to be that way. It's not that way. Otherwise, it would have burnt itself right through and all chipped off. Okay, what these rings are, okay, is the planet opens up. And then inside, there's pods, like this. We fill up all of Jupiter, inside Jupiter. The world is flat on the top, it's round, and it's flat on the bottom. Okay, there's strands, okay, that hold this together underneath the earth. And underneath us, okay, because of the way the planes fly and because of what the scientists did, they're always going around. Because if a plane went straight, it would drive right out. It would drive right into a brick wall. Wall Street has been all around us. You want to know about Russia? Russia and the Mayans, it's the same thing. They're the yellow spirit energy, in which they called it the Iron Curtain. They didn't call it a Wall Street. They didn't call it a wall at all. And Einstein, even the name Einstein, it's a computer-generated name. Lenin, a computer-generated name. Lenin means 11-9, which means actually canine, because the K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, the 9 is the birth. The 9, okay, in craps, and the 5 have the same payout. So now if you do a letter count of 5 and 9, meaning the letter position in the alphabet, you end up with 42 on both. 42 and 42. Okay, first of all, I think 42 on Monopoly is the gold bracelet. It's 2 and it's 42, because our life is all about 40. Each corner of your telephone, if you put an X in the 1, 3, 7, and 9, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. Then we run life on the walls in between. It's all about Monopoly. It's the same thing. It's about takeover. God is testing those who are rich to see, hey man, yes, there is a God back here, and we have to do these things. But we couldn't do it before. There was no communication, and we're so far into the system now, right? We have to say no to somebody above us. How do you say no? They're going to knock you out. They're going to take you out of the game. Nobody wants to die in this game. So they rather become a pig and watch everybody else die, and they listen to the machine say, don't worry about it, God will take care of them. Because God is testing everybody. You can't go to God's world. You can't get in. Just like the Americans won't let you into any of their places. God won't let you in, and he won't let them in either. If anybody, you see, they go and I'm bipolar, okay, and I know what happens when you say too much to the mind eventually. The mind screws up at the end. The mind is a very delicate thing. You got to know it's there. We have two eyes to see, but we only have one ball in the center over here that has the other V on it, creating the whole X. You have to see with that one ball. If you put a pressure on your eyes and just concentrate on the inside in a darkened light, lean your head back, put pressure on your eyes and only concentrate on the little ball that you're going to see. Doesn't matter if it's dark, don't worry. That ball will open up and it'll start to show you a crystal ball. It'll show you colors. It'll show you a whole lot of stuff. Now what's going on in the States, this is part of the system. The whole thing is they're supposed to stop what they're doing. It's the end of time now. Lenin came by and left the dust. That's why Mercury and Venus were on the other side. They don't have any moons to get any of the information. It's dropped off by Lenin. And Lenin means 11-9. And in craps, okay, it's not 11-9, it's 11-7. They call out, yo, 11. You are the 9. The guy throwing the dice is the 9. Okay? He needs to throw a 7 or 11 when he comes out. 7 and 11 is 18 Resh in Hebrew. It means bicentennial, and in English it's 666. All sixes come out on the R. When you draw the R becomes a 3, meaning creation, because if you look at the R design, it's a 1 and a 2. Okay? Just like delta, delta. Okay? The B was not the B before it was the D. God created AC/DC. He didn't create no B. After he finished AC/DC, because the omega was the D, he was allowed to reuse it, okay, and put it in the B spot. So he put a D and a D, and he outlined it, and it turns into a B. At the same time, there's 2 I's, and at the same time, if you separate it, it's now a 13 double D. 1 and 3 is 4. Every letter on your phone, every number on your phone, roulette, blackjack, whatever you want to do, the 147 on the left of the phone is an expression by the creation of our God. 1 month of February to 4 months of 30 days to 7 months of 31 days. The 258 is the expression of the passage. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's why the trains are set up 5 from every corner on Monopoly. It's an expression. You see, in Monopoly, the money goes out of the game, all the people own the money, and whoever has the most money is actually doing all the dealing. He becomes the banker. But at the end of the game in Monopoly, everything goes back in. Thank you very much. We had a good time. Whatever you want, the word love. The reason why tennis is 45-45 is not taken, because the way you get into this world is by 15 and 15. The 15th letter and the only vowel, that's an even number, because the 15th letter is 1 and 5 equals 6. Okay, it's an egg, so you need the 2 eggs into the world, the 10 commandments, and then you need the world, 20. That's the world. Beta world is 20, the $20 bill, and that's why the Queen of England is still on the Canadian $20 bill, because she says she still represents this place, or maybe she controls it. I think this whole war is about white man. Which white man is going to control the other white man? Because with all the black people that have been killed and enslaved, and Barack Obama is not coming out to stand underneath the people, we must stand up to God. This is the end of times, my friend. In 2017, everybody will see a completely different world. If you would only know where I have been inside my mind. Everybody says I'm upside down. I just say no. Aldous Huxley, okay, he said something. Albert Einstein, what he did, he went to the Americans, he said, hey, Americans, Germany's building those what do they call them again? My God, that energy, whatever energy, atomic energy. So he tells the Americans, and then a year later he decides to write a book telling everybody how no good it is. So why tell them? Why tell them at all? Why did he tell them? Because Einstein was here to tell them. It's Ein, S-T, Ein. It's a 95 word. What it means, 95, is the letter count is 95. And what 5 and 9 means, if you go look at the 5 key, you'll see the percentage sign is on it. It means the percentage of 6 and 9 being born, 6 man of the 9 birth. It's around, and it creates part of the propeller, which was on the Titanic, and that was a hoax, the Titanic. They were all robbing each other. Anyways, the 5 and 9, the 6 crap games, whatever you want to do, whatever it is, we have to know right now that there is a God, and He's testing all of us to find out what our love is all about. It's all about communication. It's all about respect. We're letting everybody move all over the world. Why didn't it end when Christ came? Why? Because the world wasn't full. God said, I'm giving you a world that's full. I'm making the whole world around. I'm not making half a world around. And the word downtown, another fictional word. Because if you add the I to both of them, it becomes doing to win. The first, second, and third number. First, ST, just like Einstein, ST. ST is last, ST is first. ST is what you get when you go to church and they give you the ST in your mouth. Best, last, first. It's all around the same thing. It's all generated around the same thing. It's all computer generated. This is all by creation of God. And He teaches, and it's in the system. It just comes out that way, and that's the way we learn. It's part of the system. Now we have to learn to get around whatever bothers us, the money and whatever else. Even the money, this money here, there's no dollar sign on it. There's a cross through the number 5 over here, which means it's not a good vote. It's all in capital letters, which means it's screaming at you. You know, so, and then they make it all kinds of colors. You know, so try and figure out. Another thing is, this is based on your telephone, and my screen just disappeared. This is based on your telephone and Rubik's Cube, and I'm trying to get my screen to come back on, but if you really want to know, I can come up with I can come up, right, just because of Rubik's Cube. Do I have Rubik's Cube here? This is a mailbox. We can use this to vote. If we can do everything else and trust the system online, we can vote online. We don't have to leave our office. Voting should be done for 5 straight days, okay? And they'll couple the votes. That means it'll take the votes in here and it'll twist them. And it'll mix up a vote from here, here, and here, and it'll send it to one mailbox. So nobody can actually cheat one name. You got to cheat 3 names at a time. Try to follow Rubik's Cube where the names are going, okay? Nobody can break into the system. It's impossible, because you break in, it's impossible. If you have 300 million people to vote, you divide it up in such a way, whatever they break in, they got to break every single combination to break down the votes. So you can stay at home and let them vote and be on TV right till the last minute. Why should we have to wait? Why can't they see what they need to do? Let them lie and do what they ever have to do. That's when all the lies will start coming out, as the votes will start coming in. And we'll probably set up the system to make it like the votes come in half and half if we want. If you understand what half and half means. It means you put in 50% of the votes up to the last day, and the last day all the rest of the votes come in. Whatever they are, you don't pick and choose. If one is way up there, one is way up there. But you shove them all in. And this Rubik's Cube, you never have to go to the polls again. You never have to have any envelopes coming to your door and saying, vote and choose. I had somebody come to my door and they almost threatened me if I didn't decide that I wasn't taking part in their questionnaire. I wasn't interested in the questionnaire. I'm just not interested in it. You want to be interested? They should have the government come right on here once a week and talk for an hour. Whatever they say, they can spin their thumbs, I don't care. But if they don't come out every single day with a YouTube right in front of us. YouTube! You don't have to leave your office. It's not dangerous. Come talk to us. I'm right here. And I'll tell you one thing. I'll stand in the front of the line, and I'll turn around, and I'll stand in the back of the line. And you can turn around both ways and leave me in the back end, because I'm not afraid of this BS. Okay? Although we need to take to the streets. If anything happens wherever it is, we must be in the streets. They can get us one by one in the house, but if we're all in the streets, 1 million people pressuring these people, we should sit down to soldiers. Sit down, soldiers. We want to talk. We don't want to talk to the government. Okay? The government is taking care of their business. We want to hear what the soldiers have to say, so we can persuade the soldiers to see and to understand what we have to say. And sit there for 2, 3, 5 days. And sit like a chain to the desk. Because you can't learn from 5 people in the government. Oh, and 6 billion people around the world are starting to say something. If you're a soldier, you ain't very good, because it's your wife. You're trying to battle us, but you're going to lose your wife and kid. Because either you lose your wife, or you won't come home with a straight mind. And you're going to lose her after that. Because it's never going to go good. That's the way it's all set up. So you stay angry. They showed it to you when they put Rocky on. They showed it to you when they put all these movies on. And never mind that. All these games we're playing online. Hello, don't you know what's going on with these games? They're looking for soldiers. And they have soldiers that are playing the same games right now, trying to learn what the young kids, what the 10-year-olds are thinking, and the 12-year-olds that are playing this game. That's where they're going to get their strength from how we think, by playing their game. If you don't think they're on with us, oh boy, they're on to us. Be well, I am MrTacpans, and I say it like it is, the way I see it. The truth doesn't matter. Okay, the truth doesn't matter. The truth matters. Okay, but what you hear is the truth doesn't matter. What matters is you understand the reality, the clarity. Okay, do you think there's bulls and bears for a reason in the stock market? No, it's all codes. Chicago bulls and Chicago bears. It's all connected back to Chicago. And if you take a look on the outline of the map, it's an upside down chicken. If you look at the end of Seattle, okay, it's the turkey without the head. If you look down near Texas, you see a groundhog. When it's flipped upside down, it's a dead animal. And then you see Canada riding on the back of the Americans. So I'm trying to figure out, is Canada involved? That's what my question is. You see what's happening right now in Colombia and all this drugs they do? Well, this is all shipped back to China. Okay, because there's something going on under the ocean in China by the seas. There's something going on in the Mediterranean. If you look at the Monopoly game, the Mediterranean is turquoise, but the Baltic is blue. Okay, they both are on the same passage, so there's an alpha omega in that. So I know something's going on. I know something went on in Israel before, right? But I just don't know what's going on in the Baltic. And it only seems smart that all these movies I saw is they're drugging up all these people because of the underground that's under us. You see, after you see, you can't go a plane around the Earth, right? But imagine, okay, the Earth ends, right? And this is actually the edge. They go down. You see the difference? They go down here, and they go underneath here. And that's where they're underneath the Earth. And then they come out, what seems like from in the Earth, but they're not in the Earth at all. They're underneath the Earth. And everybody says, well, we have to open the ocean. How did they get through? No, it just opens up. They just come right out. The beaches and the sand, if you start digging out from the beach a certain distance, I'm not sure right now, especially if you go down to China and dig out at least about 3/4 of a mile, you're going to find something under there that the beach and the sand are two different places between the ocean and the beaches. Okay? They're always protecting those beaches. Highway 5, okay, is the passage string from the bottom all the way up to the top in California. There is no other Highway 5. Highway 5 is a digit number, which means it's a digit passes to all the other digits. And that Highway 5 will bring you from the bottom of California and out of Route 10 all the way to the top. Roswell, the Roswell stone, that brown stone, I know what it is. There's a brown stone. I redesigned it a couple of times. Okay, when you put that in your hand, it melts into your hand and you can control it. It's called a glitch, the same thing they used on Reboot. How do I know? Because I redesigned it. It stands for the two moons, which means the two sides of angels, egg and egg. Two eggs count to 30, which means creation world. The egg is not an egg at all. What the egg is all about is you open it up and all the 9 other numbers are inside. 30 means I am the heaven of creation of 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When you get to 9, it's M, M, and M, which stands for 39, which also stands for the Hebrew language of kosher, MK, because the M and the K are both number 13, 13th letter, and the other one's the 13th card in the deck. We're fed from the underground. They're using, one of the reasons for shortage of food is because they're feeding another society that's underneath the ground, okay, which they call the gnomes, because they're they're always doing scientific work. God looking for new things, and he finds the guinea pigs for certain reasons. People that want to come back to life. What do you want to be? I'm going to be doing this. What do you want to do? This is what I'm going to do. You want it or you don't, because everybody's given a different life down there, okay, because you haven't won your way back. But most of them are not. Most of them, one of the things is they take control of them. Most it's against their will, and the women are all drugged up. And the reason why it's blinders, you know, when the girls out, the Indian, they wear that, the headrest, it's blinders. I don't want to see what's to my right and to my left. I'm fine the way I am. If I need to see, I'll look. The Arabs who wear the hat for the silence, it's the mind. It's all in there. You got to keep that mind comfortable. This is all we got, is what's in here. Doesn't matter how they chop you up. That peace of mind is gonzo. Comes right out of the ear. It's like a spring. It connects right up to your butt and ass. Because when you go to the bathroom, it's all the information is in you until it gets out. Everybody thinks you eat it, grinds it all up. No. Where does that information come? How do I think? It comes from my blood. What makes my blood? What I eat makes my blood. What I breathe makes my blood. This air is what causes cancer. That's what causes cancer right now, the air. Our body, in most places, recuperates up to a period of 7 years. Except when it comes to the air, our lungs, it's not the same thing. Titanic, all the hoax, not even real. She threw that diamond over at the end, which tells me that what the moon is powered by, and very people don't believe me, but it's okay. But everything's powered by that diesel and gas. They need that in the air to hide the matrix strands. It's a wireless system, all made up by God. These computers that exist right now have been here for thousands of years, since day one. This is a system to love. This is a system to communicate. Love is the fox backwards. 45 is 54. L-O-V-E. 12, 15, 22, 5. Those are the letter counts. Now L is a 12-letter count, also counts for the corner, of a tic-tac-toe board. It's a square. Take a square, cut it up, and turn it out. It becomes a tic-tac-toe board. That tic-tac-toe board creates your Rubik's Cube, your telephone, and every single thing and every single number that they do on this computer. Everything is computer calculated way, way, way before they did not. They were not able in 20 years to figure this out, that Einstein's name would be an alpha omega. And not only an alpha omega, it adds up to 95, which means the 9th birth of the 5 passage. That means the passage of 5. And then each one has a passage of 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 6 sides. 9 on a side. 9 times 6, 54. Love. Fox. F-O-X. The F is the 6th letter. The O is the 15th letter. 1 and 5, 6. The X is the 24th letter. 2 and 4, 6. If you total them out, 45. Now what you need is the birth. The birth of one angel, and then you have the birth of the man. You always have 2. So 45, and I is 18, is 63. 63 moons on Jupiter. But we only have 60 on Saturn, which is ours, because Earth has 1 moon, and Mars has 2 moons, making up for the 2 that Jupiter doesn't have. And the rest of the moons are for birth, transport, energies, and all kinds of other stuff. Anyways, I'm going to leave it for now. If you find anything interesting, I'm very happy. And my whole life this is what my life is all about now for the last 6 years. Ever since I became bipolar, and I can think of these other things, and I have captured many items by I'm so much more healthier, because when you bring up a child, or you have a child in your stomach and you're a woman, you're eating stuff to help that child. They need that child. They're not going to go, the government's not going to go and manipulate that child at birth. He needs that child to be born and strong. So the parents do it, and they manipulate the parents. That's how the upcreaming comes with the child. So, so what I do is I'll take electrolytes. I try to think what the pig does, because the pig, there's nipples underneath our earth, okay, and there's veins that come from the trees and everything. They feed all these from underneath. It's hard to explain, it's hard to believe, but that's the way it is. And now, the only way to stay in power, to stay powerful, if they come after you, you must get into the streets and flood the streets. You must flood the streets till nobody can move. Take out your power tools, because there's an army truck or something, just jump on it and start taking off the tires and taking off, and just keep dismantling everything, because what you're doing by doing this is good. We don't want war. We don't want anybody to show us around. Now we have to know what love is all about in communication. At this point, you will know the strength of God is coming, because when there's 5 million people in the street and there's only 50,000 soldiers, okay, you can start pushing them around. The whole thing is, there's 10 people directing 6 billion people in the world, because we're all too weak to stand together. And one of the best ways to stand is behind the church. Because when you're behind the church, you know it's love. And it doesn't matter what they say in that church. You must eliminate all races from that church. Just know it's the church of God. Period. Doesn't matter which God. As long as you're there in love and harmony, it's a church of God, and forget about the rest. We stand as one, and we stand tall, and I will be there if I can. I'm just praying my brains out that I get to be some sort of magic man to come out there, because I can't stand it. And I'm perfect. I'm in Canada. I'm in a place that's the hardest to get to. And you know what? That's what scares me the most. So I'm always careful.